All right, so hey guys, me as for guys, you guys, I'm going to give you guys my Euros Match Day 1 recap. Now, this will be a little different to the Copa America one since we have 12 matches to go through. And if I do all 12, guys, it's going to take a very, very long time indeed. So rather what I'm going to do instead is this, guys. I'm going to give you guys my overall perspective, both nations, how I think they did, and, touch upon maybe the who scored the goals and all that. I'm not going to go too much deep into this because we have 12 matches to go. We have 12 matches, guys. And I understand you guys are very busy, and I'm also very busy as well. And, I got to get this video out for you guys before match day 2 even closes, because match day 2 is going to finish tomorrow, guys. And this video should already have been up. So, I'm not going to go spend too much time. Just to keep it otherwise brief, Turkey didn't play whatsoever. They were basically trying to get a draw, basically get a 0-0 draw against Italy. Obviously, that didn't really work, And Italy in the first half, they looked really good. And then the second half, they absolutely dominated the game. And as soon as Italy scored that first goal through own goal, it seemed like the floodgates opened and Italy started to take advantage. And Turkey were making bad passes from the back. They even made mistakes, and Italy were able to intercept. And Italy eventually scored the second and third goal through Ciro Immobile and Insigne respectively, and Immobile getting that assist for the third goal. So great performance from Italy, man, and this is an Italy national team that look very special. They're on the cusp of something very, very special indeed. And as for Turkey, man, this is a very, very terrible way to start off your Euro group stage, and this has put them in a 3-0 loss, guys. So huge, huge loss indeed for Turkey there. The next game we have, it is Wales versus Switzerland. This was a very, very crazy game in Switzerland, man. They'll be very, very frustrated they had drawn this game, because this is the type of game that Switzerland should have won. Switzerland were by far the superior team. They allowed Wales to get back into it as soon as they were 1-0 up, and that's the problem, is that you can't do that, guys. You just can't do that. One goal margin is never enough to secure a victory, and once again, guys, Wales were able to force that equalizer through Keeler Moore from the corner, and yeah, man, Wales picked up a valuable point indeed. And as for Switzerland, man, they can also feel very hard done by having the second goal ruled off just about offside after the guy came off the bench. So, overall, man, it's a very disappointing performance from Switzerland. Very disappointing, the result. But, it is what it is. So, Switzerland and Wales share the points, 1-1. Then the third game we have, it is Denmark 0, Finland 1. Obviously, this was a game marked with controversy. Obviously, we know what happened to Christian Eriksen. And obviously, this was the type of game where I believe, for me, Denmark were really, really emotionally strained, emotionally withdrawn. And obviously, we know what events took place for Christian Eriksen, obviously. I don't want to speak too much about that. And that basically Finland, you got to give them credit for scoring that goal from Joel Pajupussen. It was a great header indeed. Some would say Kasper Schmeichel should have done better. And as for Denmark, man, they tried to equalize. They had that one penalty they earned. Poulsen went down the box, and Højbjerg stepped up, and he missed the penalty, guys. And, overall, guys, it was just one of those days where it was just not right. I don't know why the match even took place later that day. In my opinion, should have taken place the next day. And, yeah, man, so Denmark, man, huge loss at home at Copenhagen, and a Finland win. What a dream start this is for their Euros, and huge, huge win indeed. One shot, one on target. This is like a match where I believe the circumstances were too much to bear. So, Anyway, let's move on to the next game. We have Belgium 3, Russia 0. This was an amazing performance from Belgium. Belgium absolutely dominated Russia. Belgium were superior to Russia. Russia didn't really have much chances whatsoever. They were very, very poor indeed. And the crazy part about this thing is that this was actually taking place at Russia Stadium. So it goes to show you guys that home field advantage isn't really all that significant in this tournament. We have seen already that the away nations have been able to pick up victories where they wouldn't expect. I don't know why Russia was considered the away team here. They should be home team. But anyways, back to the main important thing. Lukaku was incredible, man. Lukaku, for me, is one of the best goal scorers. And I had him down as one of my top goal scorer picks. He wasn't my outright pick, but he was definitely in the contention. I would have said probably top 4. What a performance for him today. It was a magnificent performance. Lukaku, that brace he had. He is an incredible goal scorer. Look at his form for international country. He's an amazing, amazing goal scoring player, man. And you give him one sniff of chance, he's gonna bury it in the back of the net. So Lukaku, man, masterclass, and I could easily see him win the Golden Boot. So yeah, man, Not much more to add. Munier came off the bench and scored, which was pretty nice, just like the third place game. And then England won, Croatia nil. Just to put it otherwise, guys, England for me, this was a win that I believe was a very, very massive win indeed. Huge, huge win indeed. And for me, this was a game that was very even. This was a very even game, and that England, they had some great chances. I remember Mason Mount hit the post. I remember England created a lot of good turns. And for me, England, man, Gareth Southgate, I still find it bizarre. You look at the lineup he put out there. He put Kieran Trippier as a left back. He started Sterling in this game, which was a big, big shout indeed, And overall, man, it was a very, very a big win indeed for England and Raheem Sterling, proving his haters wrong with that goal. And yeah, man, it's a great win indeed. It's a huge, huge 3 points. And for Croatia, man, I feel like they really missed. I feel like their attack was just not working, and their tactics of trying to basically cross an inshallah just didn't really work. And I didn't think Rebic was able to do anything. Rebic was basically very poor on the day, So, yeah, man. Moving on to the next game, it is Austria 3, North Macedonia 1. Now, this for me was a huge, huge win. And yeah, huge, huge win from Austria, man. You got to give them credit for that big win, guys. David Alaba came in clutch with that assist. That was a beautiful assist. And for Austria, man, they played really, really well indeed. I was really impressed with Liner. That was probably one of the goals of the tournament so far. And you got to give them credit, man. You got to give North Macedonia some credit here, because North Macedonia coming into this tournament, everyone thought they would get smashed. Everyone thought they'd get smashed. They wouldn't stand a chance. And they actually played quite decent. They actually played a lot better than I anticipated. And I just think for North Macedonia here, you have to give them credit for making the scoring on their debut. Obviously, it's the first time I think they've been in a tournament. Goran Pandev, man, what a player he scored in this tournament, So huge, huge goal indeed. Huge, huge win for Austria. And this is the first win they've ever got on the Euros. So huge, huge win indeed. So yeah, moving on to the next game, it is Netherlands 3, Ukraine 2. Now, this for me was a huge, huge win for the Netherlands, because for me, man, Netherlands, they almost screwed up. And this is the thing about this Netherlands team is that they looked I feel like they were one of the best teams. I think this has to be the best game we have seen so far in the Euros as far as match day 1 is concerned. And for me, Netherlands, they looked really, really solid. And I just have to give them credit for Gini Wijnaldum, Weghorst, and Dumfries. I thought they were very good. Dumfries, you can criticize him for the first half, especially with the amount of chances he had. I thought Depay was pretty good. Young was pretty good as well. And for Netherlands, man, huge, huge win indeed. And this was a game that I wasn't sure Netherlands was going to turn up, And for me, it was a huge, huge win indeed. And I think for me, you got to give Ukraine some credit there, for making a comeback that it looked very unlikely, for getting that goal outside the box, and obviously from the header. It was a big, big win indeed. Some would say that their goalkeeper could have done much better, possibly could have, but at the end of the day, guys, it's not all entirely his fault, So huge, huge win for the Netherlands, guys. 3-2 at the Amsterdam Arena, and they'll be very, very content with this. So, yeah, man. Let's move on to the next game. It is Scotland 0, Czech Republic 2. Now, this was a game where Patrick Schick was incredible in this game. And for me, Scotland, man, I feel really bad for them, because this was at their home stadium. This was the Hampden Park Stadium, I believe. And they played well. I didn't think Scotland played really bad. It's just that Scotland didn't really have those clinical finishers on the day. They just weren't clinical whatsoever. Whereas Czech Republic, the few chances they did have, they were able to put those in the back of the net, And for me, you got to give credit for Schick for scoring that goal halfway from outside the halfway line. That was an incredible goal. I still can't believe he scored that, man. That's just insane, man. And I just think for Czech Republic, man, it's a huge, huge win indeed, And I feel like I gave a lot of credit to Vasilek. Vasilek for me was amazing. Especially towards the end, where Scotland were really piling pressure to get that consolation goal, or even maybe get the equalizer, But at the end of the day, it wasn't to be. And for Czech Republic, man, huge, huge win indeed. So now we move on to the next game. It is Poland 1, Slovakia 2. Now, for me, this was a game I was very disappointed with Poland. Poland were very poor in this game, guys. And it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that Slovakia... Well, let me rephrase. I'm not too surprised to see Lewandowski not show up, because we all know that Lewandowski in these kind of international tournaments, he doesn't tend to show up. And I just think for Poland, man, it was a very disappointing defeat. And this was the game that was probably the easiest for them to win on paper. And I think many of us expected Poland to win. And I look at the Slovakia team; they looked really, really impressive. I was really impressed with Slovakia. I think Dubravka was amazing in goal. Another player that I thought was good, obviously, was Skriniar. I thought he was very good. Hamzik was good as well. And you got to give credit, man. This was a great, great performance indeed. And for Poland, man, they never really clicked in the game. They were never really that great. Lewandowski had a few chances. Zielinski wasn't really there. Klitsch wasn't there. Linity was probably their best player for them. And yeah, man, it's a huge, huge one for the Slovakia, man. I just feel like that red card for Poland really just basically stopped any chance of having the comeback. Because I remember they scored that one goal in the second half, and then, the comeback could have happened, but obviously Skriniar went on to score the winning goal. And obviously with the red card, it's difficult to really come from behind with a man down. So yeah, man, huge, huge win for Slovakia, man. And we'll see, man. Maybe they'll do it. And like I said before, guys, we have seen that the underdog nations have done a lot better than people anticipated, So now we move on to the next game we have is Spain 0, Sweden 0. I mean, this was a game of Alvaro Morata. I mean, how the earth did he miss all those chances? I mean, Alvaro Morata, man, how the earth did Spain not even win this game? When you look at the stats here, guys, it's like ridiculous, man. 86% possession. 14% for Sweden. And Spain still couldn't win this game, guys. Alvaro Morata, man, he just continues to miss chances after chance. And it's honestly not. It's coming to the point where now you expect Morata to miss than score. And yeah, man, Spain for me, they were very, very poor in front of goal. Yeah, and I think for me, I think they were very poor. Isaac for me was pretty good. And I don't understand why Anderson, their manager, subbed him off. And I think to me that basically told me that he was basically trying to go for the draw, when in my opinion he really could have easily got the win if Isaac had stayed on for the full game. Obviously it's hard to say, but definitely a win would have been more likely for Sweden. Yeah, for me, Spain, man. Alvaro Morata, man. Alvaro Morata. Yeah, man. Disappointing performance from Spain, especially in front of goal. And then finally, we have the next game. We have Hungary 0, Portugal 3. Now, this was a game where I was like, wow. Hungary, man. You got to give them a lot of credit for defensive, being compact, being very pragmatic, being very, very negative. And it really made Portugal really get at them. And I feel like for me, Renato Sanchez, his introduction to the game changed the course of this game, and that he was able to bring some impetus to the midfield. Because prior to then, if who's the guy again? I forgot his name. Fernando de Santos. If he had not made those changes, Portugal likely would have drawn this game 0-0. And this was, in my opinion, probably the weakest one. And this was the game where you would expect them to win. And for me, man, Portugal, man, you got to give credit to Renato Sanchez for coming off the bench and being a very, very a useful player, as well as Rafa Silva. Rafa Silva was obviously amazing. That Rafa Guerrero shot gets in the back of the net. Huge, huge goal indeed. Some would say it's a bit of a deflection. Some would say he was a bit fortunate. And then Cristiano Ronaldo gets a penalty after Rafa Silva is taken down the box by Orban. Cristiano Ronaldo steps up and scores, and then he scores a goal of his own, basically when he dribbles past Gulasi and put in some empty net. And you got to give credit, man. Ronaldo has now surpassed Piatek, I think, as though who's the guy named? I forgot his name. Let me see if I see Ronaldo. Let me see. He has now surpassed Piatek, I think, is it? No. Who's that guy again? I forgot his name called. I don't remember. Anyways, someone there was a Hungary Puskás. Yes, he surpassed Puskás, I think. Yeah, he surpassed Puskás for the amount of goals scored in international European competitions ever. And so that was a great, great accomplishment indeed. Another record breaking for Cristiano Ronaldo, man. And yeah, man, huge, huge win indeed for Portugal. 3-0, guys. And yeah, man, huge, huge victory indeed. And I feel really bad for Hungary, man, because they didn't really deserve to lose 3-0. But, at the end of the day, guys, football is football. You have to live with it. The final game of match day 1 was France 1, Germany 0. And for me, man, France looked really good. France looked really, really solid indeed. And the thing about this France national team is that they're so devastating on the counterattack. They have one of the best teams ever. You can look at that attack. You have Benzema, Mbappe, Dembele, Griezmann, Coman, Giroud, Benzema. It's such a star-studded attack on that attack, man. It was very, very good indeed. And for me, man, France, they looked really, really good. And, and you look at that first goal, Pogba. Pogba, what a flick over the top, man. That was a great flick over the top. And, and you look at that goal, man. Hummels, man. Own goal, and I just think for me, France, they were superior. I remember Mbappe scored a beautiful goal outside a beautiful goal, just basically putting the back of the net, leaving no chance for Neuer, and obviously it was called up for offside. And then they had another devastating attack from Pogba again. Pogba feeding the pass for Mbappe. Mbappe through Benzema. And unfortunately, that was ruled off for offside, man. For me, Germany, man, they were very, very fortunate to not lost by a 3-goal margin. But at the end of the day, I didn't think Germany were that bad. I really didn't think Germany were that bad. I think Germany played a lot better than we had anticipated. But as I said before, guys, I think the biggest problem with this German national team is that the lack of a striker, because there was no real striker for them. And I think because of the fact they didn't really have a real natural striker, it was always going to be difficult for them to score, because Serge Gnabry really didn't do it. Obviously, when Timo Werner came on, he didn't really do it either. And for me, man, huge loss for Germany at home at the, what's the stadium called? Allianz Arena. And yeah, man, huge win for France. And yeah, man, it was a very entertaining game. Very, very entertaining game for sure. And I would probably say this is probably the second best game in Matchday 1, just behind Netherlands and Ukraine. So that's pretty much it, guys. I know some of the matches I didn't really go too much in details, guys. This has already taken 16 minutes, guys. I believe this is a good recap, guys. And so if there's any matches you believe I should, and if there's anything I missed in the comment section, please feel free to let me know, guys. I try to talk about the major talking points, from each match. And like I said, guys, I will be doing something very similar to this for Matchday 2 and of course Matchday 3. So stay tuned for that, guys. Hope you guys remember, guys, to comment, like and subscribe, because I've noticed that most of you guys aren't really subscribed to the channel. However, you guys have been liking my content so much. So I'm thinking to myself, wait, if you like the content so much, why not subscribe as well? Take advantage of both, and obviously make sure you turn on the bell notifications to get informed of all my videos when I upload, as well as my live streams when I go live. And remember, guys, to check out my description for my Twitter, Discord, and my email. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.